Thank you for that carrier update. We are here with our communities writer point of sale, Grace Sharkey, who of course does very many things for us here at FreightWaves for your Wednesday communities update. Grace, we are so excited to have you on to talk point of sale, of course, our retail focused newsletter and show as part of our communities brand. And you've had some pretty exciting content the last few weeks.
Yeah, live at Manifest last week, I got to do a one-on-one conversation with GXO's Chief Investment Officer, Mark Manduca, which was really great. You know what's fun about going to these events is that you get to meet the people, right, that you talk to on a daily basis, not face-to-face. So that was fun to meet him in person. And today's episode is actually going to be another interview from Manifest with Krenar from Tive, and a look at a lot of the technologies we saw at the event as well.
And that's, I think, a great point, Grace. And I'm a little bit jealous about all the fun I saw happening at Manifest. I'm going to have to try to get out there again, or get out there next year. But we're looking at some of those conversations. It sounds like tech was definitely top of mind. As you see this as really being a big trend going into the upcoming year, that freight tech is really going to be here to stay and really going to be one of those areas that we see more investment going into.
Yeah, I would say the biggest and most fun aspect of the show was seeing a lot of the robotics and the systems behind the warehousing automation that we've been talking about on the show over the past year or so. It's great to kind of see these automation, these robots in action, even down to the simple like picking and packing type of structures. For instance, Locust Robotics was really interesting to me. They had they had this big patch on the floor that their robots were intermingling with even humans walking through the space. And at some point I was even trying to kind of dodge in front of them and kind of see if they could hit someone, right? And what are the dangers of this type of technology in a warehouse and working hand in hand with people. And even last minute dodges in front, they stopped. They could see everything around them, and it was really funny watching them kind of like maneuver around conversations and things of that nature. So I think that was really fun to see. I think a lot of times we talk about like, are people even using, or what to extent are people using robotics in warehousing? And there was a handful of use cases at the event, and happy to see them in action and see them mingle with different people, and not just kind of the videos that we tend to see as writers here at FreightWaves too.
I think it's super interesting when you talk about those actual use cases for robots, right? Because companies like Locust have them being used in real warehouse applications right now. And we've got companies that are running these warehouse operations, or retailers who are saying, yeah, our pick and pack process is so much quicker now because we don't have to have that human element involved. Any type of indication on how people are accepting these technologies? I know I can assume that for folks who are coming to the conference and seeing robotics for the first time, they're probably like this shock and awe factor. But now are we actually starting to see them really truly understand the value of robotics because they're able to see it in person?
Yeah, I think honestly, as like an outsider too, it was really cool. Like if I had to work within this like robotics environment, it's very like futuristic, very, very fun to like be around. It's especially the job that they're taking over is like a piece of the job. These warehouses are huge, right? Huge like airline hangars that are out there. Amazon in particular, right? It's got very long warehouses. You don't want to have to walk up and down unless those spaces, and a lot of times that's the issues that you hear from warehouse workers too. So to be able to like work hand in hand with these robots, I mean, it kind of gives you that like R2D2 vibe where it's like, okay, cool, I've got like this pal with me that's helping me along the ride. And I actually have a number of friends that work in management for a number of these Amazon warehouses in particular, and they do make the job more fun, and they're able to now gamify the job a lot more without having to stress the employee out or push them to a limit that a lot of these like unions are stressed about. So I think it's fun. I had a lot of fun around them. I can't imagine not going in, checking in, and having a robot by my side and not enjoying it to some level. But, I am a freight nerd, so that is a little biased, if we're going to be honest.
And that's great to hear your feedback on some of the anecdotal stories from your friends and their experience with some of those warehouse and robotics, because I think a big fear for a lot of folks is that, okay, more tech, more robotics, going to be kind of threatening my job, but it definitely sounds like this is something that's going to be enhancing and helping people around.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's probably the main topic, in my opinion, out of F3 is that when we talk about sustainability, we are talking about the environment, but we're actually kind of talking more about finding the employees to keep up with the demands that we need from our supply chain. So I hope to God that there's not anyone out there who thinks that their job is for long-term threatened. We're still going to need people in these warehouses. We're still seeing vacancy rates being at all-time levels. And I think that, if anything, these robotics are going to help make the job more enjoyable, so that clearly the job is more acceptable by people as well.
So, Grace, let's move into a little conversation about today's show, Point of Sale. We've got it this afternoon. What are we talking about with Krenar from Tive?
Yeah, so again, it's cool because I've talked to Krenar so many times, and if anyone knows the Tive origin story, it actually comes from his father-in-law. So his father-in-law has a trucking company, and he heard about a lot of these issues, right, that he was having tracking loads and, of course, giving that feedback to shippers. Well, I actually meet his wife as well, so it's kind of an interesting conversation to hear about the family aspect of this business, too. But it was really great to talk with him one-on-one, see him on a panel speaking about visibility and where it's going. And in particular, we have a lot of, I'd say, drivers, right? Visibility technology right now is kind of tracking them. What's really cool about Tive is that they're bringing visibility to the actual freight, which is most important at the end of the day. Right now, the best we can do is tracking the driver, and I think that helps with capacity, right, in the long run. But I think a lot of times when shippers ask, hey, I want visibility of my freight, they're not always just talking about the capacity. They're talking about the actual cold chain logistics, right? And what is the temperature at various stages of transit? I want to know where that freight is right now and at this point. And the way that drivers are, and the way that we're even maneuvering around like dropping hooks and making better plays with our available drivers, it's going to be becoming more and more important to almost track the trailer, if not just the freight in general. So they have Tive Tag, which is really cool. You'll get to see that, and it's quite literally a piece of paper. It's a sticker, which I just think is amazing. And we actually get to talk about a couple of stories of missing freight that they're able to quickly help find and recover because of the technology that Tive has provided.
It's definitely intriguing, and I'm excited to see what kind of visibility really kind of continues to push forward throughout the upcoming years. And I think definitely Tive is leading on that front in that area. Grace, if people want to catch this upcoming episode, what time will it be airing?
We have a new time, actually. So for those of you used to 2:30, we're now on at 2 on Wednesday. So you can check that out today. But of course, it is available on demand at Freightwaves TV, or you can check it out wherever you listen to podcasts too. So make sure you subscribe, like, all that jazz, so that you can get updated when new episodes come up as well.
Awesome, Grace. Well, thank you for that. We will talk to you later on today. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thanks, guys.
Looking forward to that episode for sure. Sounds intriguing.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Freightwaves Now in just a few minutes.